Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're talking about the brand new Lumix 50 1.8 S series lens. This is for their L-mount cameras. Now, right out of the box, the first thing you're going to notice is the size. So this is going to be in a series of lenses that are very small, compact with fast apertures that are going to pair perfectly, obviously, with your S1 series, but more importantly, the S5 series. So that is what we're shooting with today. This lens is coming out. We have our 85 that is out, and then we're missing the 35 and the 24. So that's going to be the series of lenses that are going to basically be in this lineup. So exterior, the first thing I want to talk about, it is a very simplistic lens. So we only have a focus ring, and all we're going to get is a focus switch to toggle between autofocus or manual focus. Our front thread on this lens is going to be a 67mm diameter. Now, a nice thing about this being 67 is that all the lenses that were kind of made for the S5 are all going to share the same filter thread size. So that's talking about our 20 to 60, the 50, the 85, and then the ones coming out, the 24 and the 35, they're all going to share that same filter thread size. So it's going to be more cost effective for filters for you. We are getting a 9-bladed diaphragm, so we're going to get some pretty circular bokeh. We're obviously going to test that out here in a bit. Minimum focusing distance, everyone, this is 1.5 feet. So at 50mm, you can still get some pretty close focusing shots, which is really nice to have. And then also the size of it, it looks very small on this camera, but it's also very lightweight. It is coming in at 300 grams for this lens. All right, so those are the very few specs that we're gonna talk about the 50 1.8. Now, before we jump into shooting, there's one thing I do want to talk about, and that is going to be just how excited I am for Lumix coming out with more affordable lenses. Now, I'm saying affordable, so you have to stick around to the end of the video so I can tell you the price point. But I mean, the 85 I absolutely loved shooting with. This 50, I have no doubt in my mind I'm going to enjoy it as well. So we're here at South Congress with Lily, so let's get right into it. All right, we're back at the store after shooting with the 50 1.8 Lumix lens. Now it's time for our final thoughts and what we overall thought about it. First thing I do want to talk about was the optical quality that I noticed when I threw it into Lightroom. I mean, I was zooming in on our model's eye and I could see veins in there. So like straight in the center, super, super, super sharp. And the corners was very sharp as well. And that's also wide open at 1.8. You're guaranteed to get even more sharp photos when you stop it down to, let's say, 2.8 or f4. Another thing that I was really impressed with was the bokeh. So when we had her kind of in this, this walkway, and then you could see all the lights behind her to test out the bokeh, directly behind her, very, very circular, great looking bokeh. There was no like artifacts in it. But even more importantly, when you go laterally to either the left or the right side of the photo, it wasn't very, I think I've heard it called cat eye bokeh, but you know, it wasn't really getting too oval. It stayed very circular. It was only when you got in like the top left corners or the top right corners where it started distorting the bokeh a little bit. So bokeh in this was phenomenal. Now, another thing that I also want to touch on was going to be its focus breathing. So we didn't shoot too much video, but Todd was telling me like, hey man, you got to shoot a little video to show the focus breathing. It's a big deal in this lens. And it's a humongous deal. So we actually just got finished shooting the 50 1.2 by Sony. That thing for focus breathing was horrendous, sorry Sony, but this Lumix 1.8, there's like little to none whatsoever. So it handled it very well, and I was really impressed with that overall. Autofocus speed, very fast, especially paired with the S5, which in my opinion is their fastest full frame autofocusing system that Lumix makes. It handled it just fine. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is not an extremely fancy lens. I mean, it's very just optical quality, and it's gonna be a workhorse in your kit. There's no fancy switches on the side. There's no focus lock buttons. Even the material it's made out of, I'm not too sure exactly what it is, but it's definitely not the same material they made their Pro series lenses out of. Now, if you take into account our Pro 50 1.4 lens, that's about $2,300 US. That's gonna bring me to the price point on this lens. This is only running you around $450 US at the time of this video. Guys, that is insane. So a lot of my shooters out there, especially in store as well, I've been selling the S5 like crazy recently. I believe it's on a rebate currently. So I mean, you can get the kit for around $2,000 US. But then if you just get the body and you're like, man, I need a solid lens, and you don't want to go with the 20 to 60, I think this 50 is going to be perfect for a majority of shooting that you could do. The only one downside that I really saw on this lens was how it handled chromatic aberration. And I've seen other videos where people said that they didn't have any chromatic aberration. And that was true when I was taking photos of the model. I mean, I was looking for it, couldn't really see it whatsoever. But when I was testing the close focusing distance, taking a photo of the butterfly up in the trees, you could actually see a lot of the leaves had a lot of fringing on the edges or some chromatic aberration, and it wasn't as easy to clean that up afterwards in Lightroom. So one thing that I did notice, but once again, for the price point, not really something you should worry about whatsoever. So overall, I think this is a phenomenal lens that Lumix has came out with. I'm very excited for the 24mm to come out, but even more so the 35mm. 85 was solid, this 50 solid. And for my shooters out there who are wanting budget friendly, but not sacrificing the quality lenses, I think this is gonna be the series for you. So let me know what you think down in the comments down below, if you overall liked the lens, if there's some stuff you wish you could have seen added to it, or if you're just overall happy with everything about this. I'm gonna drop the link down below for pre-order, so remember to click that if you wanna get your orders in with Precision Camera and Video. And like always, everyone, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.